Hey gang, my name is Victor, and this is my Polypeptide, and I'm a family man, so I got kids and pets, and so I took whatever I could find, and I hope this movie's not going to make you sick, but joined the class a little late, trying to do what I can here. So I just want to go over real quick what's what. The plums represent oxygen, the espresso cups represent the hydrogen. The doggy treats just represent bonds, and the double forks are, of course, the double bonds by the carbons. Green apples are carbons. Red apples are nitrogen. The Smarties represent the peptide bonds. We have the alpha carbons. And in any, we have the amine side terminus and the carboxyl terminus. We got three groups. Amino acids in this case are going to be bonded by a loss of, in a combination of H2O. As soon as that combines, you got a peptide bond here and here, and you'll get this polypeptide. So these are just the R groups, which are side chains. They could really be anything. And then we have our angles here, psi and phi, and they're about 60 degrees, more or less. Just want to double check I'm not missing anything here. And I think that's it as far as that. So as far as like protein and structure and function, function depends on structure. So it can be twisted, folded, coiled, all sorts of stuff. Hemoglobin's got a weird shape. Pepsin is a little bit more of what we're looking at. Collagen has like a helix shape going on. Building the proteins, the peptide bonds are covalent bonds. They're between like nitrogen to hydrogens, which is the amine of one amino acid over here, and then like the carbon, double oxygen, and hydrogen of the carboxyl of the other. So when that loss of oxygen happens, you've got a polypeptide chain, what you see here. So just going back over building proteins, the N-terminus, C-terminus, you got a repeated sequence of nitrogen, carbon-carbon, nitrogen, carbon-carbon, especially with the alphas. And just a little background on the protein itself. DNA is like the start of life and everything, and proteins make up that DNA, and they do all sorts of cool stuff like structure and transport and protection. And then when they combine, they form some really, really cool shapes and design. I think it's really cool. Peptide chains, make up these way cool designs, and it's really neat to see how it like works together. But when we talk about, this is our like initial structure. When we talk about our secondary structure, it's more like an alpha helix, which I have this peppermint candle here, and it kind of represents more or less, what could happen in that case. So an alpha helix can be really, fairly stable. And they can really be unstable or just come apart if there's a residue has like too much positive charge on the ends, and or negative charges on the ends. Again, I'm really nervous. I apologize. And if some certain proteins attach as well, then there's a possibility they will promote a beta turn, like proline, for example. Also, if branching occurs, it can also destabilize that as well. So you also have a B turn, which is really formed by hydrogen bonds and is really, really strong. And they can be parallel or anti-parallel, and like in the class they talk about being anti-parallel is a lot more strong. And of course I'm getting nervous, getting at the end of my time, so I hope I went over everything. And if not, I do apologize. I'm learning as I'm going. Good luck with everything.